there, take your swing. Rev your engines and let freedom ring. And never, ever, ever stop being American. Nothing stops America, and nothing stops Ram.
Right now with Employee Pricing Plus, purchase and get an average of $10,900 below MSRP on 2025 Ram 1500 Laramie Crew Cab 4x4 models. Hurry in. Offer ends July 31st.
The General gives you a break to keep you covered.
Yeah, whether it's on your car insurance
or taking a break from being the auto-tune guy.
Ooh.
For a great low rate, go with the General.
Keep that shower fresh feeling all day with Dove Antiperspirant. 72-hour sweat and odor protection, powered by ProCeramide technology. Visibly healthier, smoother skin for arm-raising confidence. Dove 72-hour protection, underarm skincare.
The salt on that Dos Equis could have ended up in a half-empty pantry. But now, it's lucky enough to find itself circling a crisp, refreshing dressed Dos Equis. Congratulations, Salt.
What's that on that be?
This is where the greatest city meets the world's greatest. Where the spotlight meets the highlights. And the chills, all the heat. This is where champions meet challengers. Where the looks meet all the feels. And these party vibes meet morning, noon, and night. This is the U.S. Open. What's spectacular will you see?
My name's Ari. Join me at DQ for Miracle Treat Day on Thursday, July 31st. $1 or more of each Blizzard treat sold at participating locations will benefit your local children's hospital, providing treatment to countless kids like me. Miracle Treat Day, Thursday, July 31st.
You can get this fixed now and pay later. You can get this fixed now and pay later. And this. Get it fixed now and pay later in 4 interest-free payments at SafeLight.com.
SafeLight Repair, SafeLight Replace.
PXG is proud of our nation's heroes, like past and present military, law enforcement, firefighters, EMTs, nurses, and teachers. And it's no secret we give special pricing to all of our hero customers. It's also no secret that times are tough. And in our book, that makes everybody a hero. So now through August 31st, everybody qualifies for special heroes pricing on select clubs. Visit pxg.com now to learn more. PXG, you've never played like this before.
This is Unsportsmanlike on ESPN Radio.
Unsportsmanlike.
The ECHC is the Evan Cohen Hibachi Cookout. And not one invite has gotten even close to Harry Douglas, Freddie Coleman, Shannon Penn, or Eric Hanneman, the 4 horsemen on the show.
Wow.
And we give love to the morning show all the time, but no e-vite, no invite, no snail mail, no text, no nothing, Nathan, nada.
We're not going to come steal anyone's thunder. No. We just want to be a part of it.
Exactly. You know, we like to eat.
Yes, the ECHC on its way. Coming up this weekend, Evan Cohen Hibachi Cookout 2, as named by Chris Canty, as Freddie and Harry. Well, listen, they're wonderful. 3P to 7P Eastern here on ESPN Radio. We've had a great relationship with them for as long as we've been on the air. They do their show events as they should, and their show get-togethers as they should, and they do. They have a very tight-knit unit with that crew, which is awesome. And we do ours. It's not versus, it's end. How do I open it up to them and then not open it up to the rest of the lineup? We all went through the invite to get, okay, let's share behind the scenes now. Initially, invite list went to bosses of ESPN Radio. And Nuno was involved. Justin, Liam, they all approved it. Then, did I not send it individually to both of you?
Yeah.
You did?
Well,
Wow, I mean, this guy, he's a bad guy.
Me?
Yeah, like you're trying to put this all on us.
It's a group effort.
No, it's not. It's your house.
As I said, remember what I said in the beginning of the show? Be careful what you say. He's wearing a wire today. With that outfit on.
Oh, good looking out, Nuno.
Thank you, Nuno.
It was a group effort, and the group made some decisions. I mean, can we announce one other invite or exception?
I mean, it's your show. I mean, and by your show, you're hosting us, so yes.
Yes.
Well, I was very specific on the invite, if you noticed, worded very carefully, because I said those who said yes last year are back for this year.
Okay.
That are still a part of the show and the show team, but we're not doing plus ones. Now, hold on a second. There were 2 plus ones that said yes last year that were eligible for this year.
Okay.
One was an early acceptance, and we have another acceptance.
We do. We do. My wife, Mel Canty, is coming to the ECHC too. Yes.
Now, do you want a graphic, or should Rob not do that?
Nah, we don't
Okay.
need a graphic. But she missed the inaugural ECHC.
She said
but
yes,
she's
had to
coming.
cancel last minute for work. So that was grandfathered in.
Yeah.
Yes.
Or grandmothered in.
Awesome
She is coming. So she will be riding with you, Rob, and myself up to Evans Palatial Estate and parts of Westchester Unknown
Oh, yeah.
to enjoy hibachi and hang out for all of the good times and the laughs and the eats.
This is major.
news last night.
Major.
Yeah.
Because I will say this, Mel joined us at our holiday hang.
Yes.
And she was in the MVP conversation.
Yes. Yes.
Well,
She's going to bring the vibes.
Yes.
This is great.
Well, the thing that I like most about Mel, it's not that she's a successful businesswoman with many careers along the way, that she has been at the top of the food chain, and that she's unbelievably nice and sweet. It's that she destroys Canty constantly.
Oh, yeah.
She makes
Yeah.
fun of him constantly. And sometimes, you need somebody else to kind of spark up the making fun of him. You don't want to be the first one in on that. We got the first one in, and then we pounce.
She doesn't miss an opportunity.
No, she's going to give you a hard time.
And
She
people,
doesn't
there's
miss
a
an
little known
opportunity.
fact about last year. Everybody talks about how much CC ate, which he did. And people don't realize, why did he eat so much? There were 2 meals. Because Mel had to cancel last minute. So he had Mel's meal
that's
too.
right.
I forgot about that.
So you're going to actually eat less this year.
I don't like it.
You want to uninvite her?
I don't like it. I don't like it. Well, I can't uninvite her. First of all, what you should know, it's not an invitation. She said, you know what, my schedule changed. I want to go.
Right.
What am I going to say?
No, you should
she's
say
coming.
yes.
She's coming.
She was already on the invite list.
Yeah, that's what's going to happen. It's only going to go down one of 2 ways. Either she's coming with me or neither one of us are going.
Yep. Love that.
That's
Smart
how
man.
it works.
Wait, is that an option? No, I'm just kidding.
Wow. Bad guy. All-time bad guy. That's Ed Hardy.
That's Ed
not
Hardy.
Evan Cohen. That's Ed Hardy. That said
That's
that
the
just
Skull
now.
Sailors.
Yeah, exactly.
Creeping out of there.
All right, we left off talking about Jordan Love and CJ Stroud. And Smalls, as she's walking out of the studio just now, says to
Dropped a
us,
bar.
I think they're kind of middle class of the quarterback position. Not middle class quarterbacks, but middle class of the position. Explain that.
Yeah. We were talking about how this is potentially, or it has the potential to be, a golden era of the quarterback position. And then we were discussing if those guys don't break through and it's just Patrick Mahomes singular on a tier by himself, can we really say that? And Evan, you brought up the fact that we have so many quarterbacks that we are saying could be vaulted into that next category or the top 10. And when you actually look at it, we have a pretty robust middle class of quarterbacks. So let's put Mahomes, obviously, is on a tier by himself. Burrow, Hurts, Allen, and Lamar. Let's put them on another tier as well, because they're all accomplished in a different way. And I think that we have those guys vying for the next spot.
Mm-hmm.
But then there is this really intense crop of middle-class quarterbacks that we all think are capable of getting to that next level. And such as Justin Herbert, such as Jordan Love, such as CJ Stroud, such as Dak Prescott. A lot of people consider him to have the capabilities of that. Jaden Daniels. I mean, Jared Goff, maybe some people think if he wins a Super Bowl, we're having a different conversation about a guy who took the Rams when they were a bad team, bad franchise, to a Super Bowl. And then he brings the Super Bowl to the Detroit Lions. There's just a lot of quarterbacks. Baker Mayfield, a lot of people have in that fringe right there. We haven't even mentioned some of these young guys like a Bo Nix, who has a great coach and we think could take a big step forward. Drake May, now with Mike Vrabel, he could take a step into that direction. We just have this interesting grouping of quarterbacks that we think are capable of things that we haven't seen from them yet. And that is different than maybe in years past.
So you would have Jaden Daniels in that middle class of quarterbacks?
Well, if
1
you're
year
saying
sample
the top
size.
5 is if the top 5 is upper class in your scenario, now there may be an upper middle class, right? That you look at. With
Yeah,
Jaden
see,
Daniels.
I've got levels to this. So
Okay, go ahead.
when I'm thinking about the middle class of quarterbacks, I'm thinking about guys that are fringe top 10 players at the position, right?
Okay, go ahead.
So you've got 9 through 15. So in my middle class of NFL quarterbacks, I've got Jared Goff, Jordan Love, Brock Purdy, Dak Prescott, CJ Stroud, T. Law, and the Big Show.
Okay.
So I've put Justin Herbert and Jaden Daniels and Matt Stafford, like those guys are cemented in that top 8 of quarterbacks. So
why is Justin Herbert not in the middle class?
that's a great question. That is a phenomenal question.
Because the other two guys you mentioned, I can point to accomplishments.
I don't have a legitimate answer for you. I have no answer for you. There is no retort. This is based off of just raw physical ability and having to overcome at times the ineptitude of the LA Chargers organization.
Mm-hmm.
But I think when it comes to what most scouts and executives say in their evaluation of Justin Herbert is that he is elite when it comes to those traits that you look for, prototypical NFL quarterback. Big, strong, cannon of an arm, super smart.
Mm-hmm.
The guy was a 4.0 student at Oregon. Like he's just all of the things, all of the boxes, he checks them. So I put Justin Herbert in that top 8 group. But you're right, he's probably, based on accomplishments, in that middle class of NFL quarterbacks.
Which is wild because then you have at least 4 number 1 overall picks in the lower class. Right? Kyler Murray, Caleb Williams, Bryce Young, and Cam Ward. You put Trevor Lawrence in the middle class. Some would put him in that quote-unquote lower class. Oh, by the way,
I can't do that. He got a playoff win, man.
That's fine.
I can't do
That's
that.
fine.
Yeah.
The most untold story maybe of any number 1 pick in terms of the classes is like nobody, because people like him, nobody ever brings up how much of a bust Jameis Winston was as a number 1 overall pick because he smiles. To his credit, like he somehow has distracted us from. He was the number 1 overall pick in the draft.
Yeah, but I'm just
he's lower class.
Yeah, I agree with that. But I'm sitting there thinking about this middle class of quarterbacks group and which one has the opportunity to become an upper class quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Which one has the opportunity to ascend to a top 6, top 7 player at the respective position? I mean, out of this group, I would say Jordan Love probably has the best chance of being able to pull that off.
That's my pick too. Would you be surprised if the Packers won that?
Of course it's your pick. You're a Packers fan.
But would you be surprised if the Packers won the NFC North?
No.
Okay, there you go. And he obviously will have to be a huge catalyst to that.
Yeah, but CJ Stroud is going to walk away with the AFC South. And that would be 3 years in a row that he's won the AFC South. And he's won a playoff game each of his first 2 years. So it's kind of like, why? Like I get like the Jordan Love bit, I understand why we're enamored with his physical talent, and he is quarterbacking the youngest team in football, and they have gone to back-to-back playoff appearances, and they did win a playoff game in that 2-year span. But CJ Stroud has pretty much done all of that.
Right, but we say he'll walk away with the AFC South. Isn't that more of an indictment on the other teams in the division rather than what he's accomplished? Whereas if Jordan Love and the Packers win the NFC North, they're beating good teams.
Maybe.
Well,
maybe.
Coming up, today is the last day that Major League Baseball teams can try to get out of the middle class by way of trade. We will check in with the great Tim Kirkchin next. MLB trade deadline later today. It's Unsportsmanlike, presented by Progressive Insurance.
This weekend on ESPN Radio.
Diving play, Keith, throw to first.
The Detroit Tigers storm into Philadelphia to face the Phillies. Coverage begins Saturday at 3:30 Eastern and Sunday at 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app. Presented by Progressive Insurance.
You have to have a dream, a goal. You have to be willing to work for it.
We are not going to stop chasing the dream. We can't.
You look up not giving up in the dictionary, a picture of my wife would be there.
You're one of the strong ones, okay? Just remember that.
You're stronger.
My dad would be so thankful for all of the lives that have been saved.
No matter what kind of teeth you gotta brush, Oral-B Electric cleans better with one simple touch. Oral-B's dentist-inspired round brush head hugs them, cleans them, and gets in between them for 100% cleaner teeth. Your perfect clean starts with Oral-B.
Keep that shower fresh feeling all day with Dove Antiperspirant. 72-hour sweat and odor protection. Powered by ProCeramide technology. Visibly healthier, smoother skin for arm-raising confidence. Dove 72-hour protection. Underarm skincare.
The salt on that Dos Equis could have ended up in a half-empty pantry. But now, it's lucky enough to find itself circling a crisp, refreshing dressed Dos Equis. Congratulations, Salt.
Top line?
This is a quality, comprehensive exam.
Come again?
You asked me to top line it for you.
Okay. Bottom line?
Well, the bottom line is this is an amazing value. What? Get 2 pairs of Progressives and an eye exam starting at just $159.95 at America's Best.
WNBA champion!
We can't get enough of the WNBA. A fresh draft class has arrived.
Dallas Wings select Paige Beckers.
Teams stacked with new talent.
Jewel is a complete dog.
And the Valkyries take flight in the Bay.
Ridiculous!
We've got more stars and more heat than ever.
Lynx Aces. Fever, Storm, Saturday and Sunday on ABC.
This is a story about the one who never stops. She needs a reliable partner like Granger, who works around the clock, because she knows the domino effect is real. And there's never a good time for downtime. When it's all on the line, having the supply she needs makes all the difference. The industrial-grade products you need, all in one place. Call, click Granger.com, or stop by. Granger, for the ones who get it done.
Precise designs, subtle curves, curated upgrades, elevated design for thoughtful living. Thuma.
Is the Kansas City offense being overlooked? Are they going to be markedly better than they were a year ago?
I guess I have issue with the question, like, who is overlooking the Kansas City Chiefs? Like, please step to the front of the room. I want to talk to you. Because this is a team that, as talented as their quarterback is, they have questions at tight end. Is Travis Kelce going to come back and sort of avenge the season that he had last year? The wide receiver depth is an issue with Hollywood Brown going down. In practice, you got Rasheed Rice possibly facing suspension. Like, there are questions within this group, and also the protection of Patrick Mahomes. So you have legitimate questions about this group, but do you bet against the Chiefs ever? Does that ever work out in your favor?
I know someone who's not betting against the Chiefs. I brought this up to Louis Riddick this morning in our meeting, and I would describe you as bullish on KC's offense.
Yeah, just like the stock market.
Yeah.
Did you mention protection for Patrick Mahomes, Kimberly? Well, I would venture to say this. They drafted a guy named Josh Simmons out of Ohio State right there on the left side of your screen, number 71, who right now has been lights out in training camp. This dude, look, if you look at the videos, I may have talked to a person or two. I may have exchanged some messages with a person or two about how he has looked. They are ecstatic. It's early, but the guy looks like, in that 71, he looks like, dare I say, a baby Trent Williams. That's what he looks like. He had the best tape before he got hurt last season, and he suffered that catastrophic knee injury. But they have the best trainer in football, in Rick Burkholder, overseeing his rehab, and he is on his way. He is on his way. If this offensive line can be locked down,
I think
it
you
is
got
lights
Dominique
out.
sold.
Either Dominique's camera froze with his face in that position, or he's just nonplussed. What is that knee?
I heard the name Trent Williams. We saw the impact that Trent Williams has on any offense. If you can add that to a quarterback like Patrick Mahomes, the concept of not having to worry about the backside or left side of the line for Patrick Mahomes is unimaginable for how risky that could be for the rest of the teams in the league. I remember last year, Patrick Mahomes was backpedaling at certain points out of from under center because he couldn't trust the safety on the left side of that line.
This is Unsportsmanlike.
MLB trade deadline day, 6 p.m. Eastern. There have already been a ton of huge moves in Major League Baseball. And joining us now here on Unsportsmanlike with Michelle Smallman, Chris Canty, Evan Cohen, ESPN MLB analyst. The great Tim Kirkchin joins us here on Unsportsmanlike, presented by Progressive Insurance. Tim, before we get to the trades, I can't believe there could be bigger news than all the trades, but what happened to Shohei Ohtani, and what is the latest around the Dodgers superstar?
Yeah, he had cramps. That's the good news. There's nothing wrong with his arm. He said after the game that the humidity got to him. He threw consecutive wild pitches on consecutive pitches for the first time in his career. But he said afterwards, I'm fine. As you saw, he stayed in the game as the designated hitter. So I don't see this being a problem moving forward. It's just a matter of having cramps, and everything else seems to be okay.
Tim, as a resident Yankees fan, you know I got to ask you about my squad. We acquired a couple of infielders to help out, especially on the defensive end over the last week, but starting pitching continues to be an issue outside of Max Fried and Carlos Rodon. What are the plans for the Yankees ahead of the deadline to make a move?
Well, they're still looking for help. They still need another starting pitcher. I think they need another bat, too. But the starting pitchers are hard to come by. Merrill Kelly, Zach Gallen of the Diamondbacks are still out there. I'm told, as we hear all the time this time of year, the asking price for starting pitching today is unbelievably high, as it should be. And as relievers go all over the place, the Yankees need to find a starting pitcher. But they did a good job getting Ryan McMahon when they did from the Rockies. He's now their everyday third baseman. Big upgrade for them. Not a great player, but significantly better than what they had at third base. Got a walk-off hit yesterday. So the Yankees still have a lot of work to do. They're 4 games out in a winnable division, but Brian Cashman is going to try to get something done today for another arm and maybe another bat.
Tim, let's stick in New York. The Mets certainly wanted to improve their bullpen. They go out there and make some moves, including bringing over Ryan Helsley from my Cardinals. When you look at what the Mets have done so far, has it been enough for them to be real World Series contenders?
Yes, Michelle. What they've done in the bullpen is remarkable. Ryan Helsley is really good. And when you already have Edwin Diaz at the end of the game, and now you have Helsley, you have Gregory Soto, who they got from the Orioles, and you got Kyler Rogers from the Giants. The Mets have a great bullpen right now. And Davey Johnson, former Mets manager, told me 30 years ago, you win in October with bullpen and bench. And that is more true today than ever, given how little we do with our starting rotation with openers, how often we use the bullpen. The Mets have built a monster bullpen, and I think they are in prime position to be a really good team down the stretch and in October.
Tim Kirkchin just put such a smile on my face referencing Davey Johnson with the 86 Mets and Jesse Orosco and Roger McDowell switch. He valued those two so much. He put them in the field so we could switch off in the innings. Seriously, like they would play. One of them would play the outfield. So he's like, I'm not taking either one of these guys out. And Davey would switch them off at times in 1986 doing that. Right, Tim?
Yeah, I think Davey be in the Hall of Fame. Not just what he did with the Mets, but what he did in Cincinnati, the Nationals, the Dodgers, and he was fearless. And that is all part of being a really good manager today, is just having the conviction to do things. And yes, he used his bullpen beautifully during all his time with the Mets.
Oh, I could do this all day. I better get refocused here. Tim Kirkchin, ESPN MLB analyst. Baseball tonight, trade deadline special, 4 p.m. Eastern on ESPN. Who had a better day yesterday, Tim? The Phillies or the Mariners?
The Mariners had a really good day yesterday. They got Eugenio Suarez. Deal's not officially done yet, but now they have a chance to go to the World Series. The Mariners, of course, have never been to the World Series, and in a winnable American League, they just position themselves to be a real difficult out in October, especially in that league. Their starting pitching, as we know, is loaded. They have a deep, versatile bullpen, but now they've added, with Josh Naylor the other day, a first baseman who can hit, Eugenio Suarez, a third baseman who's got 36 homers and 87 RBIs. So granted, he's going to a bigger ballpark than Arizona, a tougher place to hit, but he knows all about Seattle because he used to play there. And I think he's going to fit in beautifully. He's going to be very comfortable there. You add those two corner bats to go with Cal Raleigh, Randy Arozarena, Julio Rodriguez, and suddenly a team that just had serious offensive problems for years is now an above-average offensive team. And I really like what the Mariners did, and they are in pretty darn good shape moving forward.
Tim, one of the names that has been floated out there in terms of potentially being on the trade block is Rangers outfielder Adolis Garcia. What ends up happening him at the trade deadline today? Does he end up staying in Texas, or do they potentially move on from him?
I think he stays. I kind of like where the Rangers are right now. They've played a whole lot better the second half of the season. I think they've still got another big run left in them, and I don't think you can give up in any way on this season when you have a chance to make the playoffs. When you have a chance to make the playoffs in the American League, you got to go for it, because if you make the playoffs, you got a chance to go to the World Series. So I know Garcia hasn't been the same player as he was, say, 2 years ago, but I wouldn't deal him. I would keep what I have, add to my team, not subtract from it.
Tim, as we get closer to 6 p.m. Eastern time today, what other teams or players are you monitoring that you think could be on the move?
Well, again, we still have to keep our eye on the Diamondbacks. They are out of the race, obviously. They have moved several players already, but it's those two starting pitchers that everyone is still looking at. Merrill Kelly has a 2.56 ERA in his last 10 starts. Zach Gallen pitched in the All-Star game 2 years ago. He can really help several teams. So those are the guys. That's the team I think we have to keep our eye on still, because so many teams are still looking for a starting pitcher, and very few starters have moved so far who are going to make a difference. Chris Paddock moved. He's already helped the Tigers. Let's see where the Diamondbacks go. Let's see if they continue to keep the price so high for those guys. But maybe they say, all right, we're out of it. We gotta rebuild our team now. That's the team to keep your eye on.
We're talking with Tim Kirchin, ESPN MLB analyst. Trade deadline today. Baseball Tonight special, 4 p.m. Eastern today on ESPN. Tim, in the Luka on the Lakers world that we now live in, will anyone call the Pirates for Paul Skeens today?
I'm sure they'll call, but the Pirates, from all indications, are not going to deal Paul Skeens, nor should they. He has the lowest ERA of any pitcher through 45 starts since earned runs became official in 1913. He is the best pitcher that I've seen enter the game in the 45 years that I've covered. People in Pittsburgh are not real wild about the Pirates right now, and if they were to trade a generational pitcher for a bunch of young guys, just not seeing it. They shouldn't do it. They won't do it, and I don't think it'll be a storyline today.
Tim, as someone who loves baseball and who's an historian of the game, I, of course, wanted to ask you about the sad passing of Ryan Sandberg. Can you just color for us and give us some context what he meant not only to baseball, but specifically to the city of Chicago and the Cubs?
Yeah, he's one of the greatest Cubs of all time. He's the greatest number 23 in baseball history. He is one of the greatest defensive second basemen I've ever seen. He won 9 Gold Gloves. He won an MVP. He learned to hit for power. He could run the bases. He's one of 3 second basemen ever, joining Craig Biggio and Joe Morgan with 250 homers, 300 steals. He carried himself with an elegance, the way he played. He had a regal quality with the way he would catch a ground ball, swing the bat, run the bases, cared exclusively about winning. This is a terrible loss for baseball. It's a terrible loss for all Cub fans. And I don't think I ever saw a second baseman who was better at making the double play without getting crushed by a runner coming after him. His footwork was impeccable at second base. Everything he did at second base was impeccable, and one of the nicest people I've ever met in the game, and such a sad loss for baseball.
Tim Kirchin, ESPN MLB analyst. Trade deadline special today, 6 p.m. Eastern is the trade deadline. 4 p.m. Eastern is the special on ESPN. Plus, you can get Tim's podcast, Tim and Jeff Kirchin. Is this a great game or what? At Great Game or What on social, so you can find it there. Tim, always a pleasure. Thank you so much for the time.
Okay, thanks, everyone. See you.
There's Tim Kirkchin joining us here. MLB trade deadline today, 6 p.m. Eastern time. Cardinals, your squad dumping players. Arizona, certainly a team to look at. Pittsburgh is awful. Colorado, you got to look at the bad teams, obviously. Yankee fans despise Anthony Volpe, even though he hit a game-tying home run in the ninth inning. Their shortstop last night, they can't stand him. And one of them is Nuno, who is so angry towards Volpe, amongst other players in other situations with the Yankees right now.
By the way, congrats on getting Helsley from us. He's a stud.
Yeah,
throws gas.
Yeah.
Led the majors in saves last year. It reminds me of 2011.
49, I think, right?
Unbelievable. Two-time All-Star. It reminds me of 2011 when the Cardinals move on from Colby Rasmus and they remade that bullpen and they went on to win the World Series. This is what the Mets are giving me right now.
Well, the Mets saw 2015 losing the World Series to the Royals, where 7, 8, and 9, the Royals' strength was that bullpen. And if the Mets have three guys that can pitch 7, 8, and 9 more than that, it's a 6-inning game for the starters.
Helsley setting up Diaz is disgusting.
God, I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that.
I do.
The Mets fans.
Well, Yankee fans, all you guys do is complain. So you know what? Well, teams are trying to.
I'm complaining about you guys being good. I don't want to see you guys good.
Thank you.
How do you think I feel as a Cardinals fan watching the Cubs win the World Series?
Yeah,
teams are bulking up today. Teams are getting stronger, fitter, better. Kind of like the things you can do at GNC.
Yeah, kind of like it. GNC knows that you're not always feeling it at the gym, but don't get down. Get lit and get more out of every workout. Beyond Raw Lit is a clinically dosed pre-workout that flips the switch and gives you more energy, focus, intensity, and pumps. The perfect combo for a killer workout. Plus, it's got incredible flavors and thousands of 5-star reviews, so you know it's good. Pick it up at GNC stores or go to gnc.com.
This is Unsportsmanlike.
Unsportsmanlike.
Tad, do you think you could tackle Evan?
Yes, absolutely.
Anybody can tackle anybody if they do it right.
You think I could tackle CC if I do it right?
Yeah, of course. Head to the side, shoulder, drive your legs.
Yeah, I'd really hit the top of his knee hard.
You turned to dust.
Seriously.
Is that the scent of hope? Justice?
Citrus.
Super.
You give eye exams.
I give fresh starts, better vision, healthy eyes. Everybody wants that.
Hero Doc saves vision.
Well,
Hero Owl saves money. Use your vision insurance for exams, glasses, and contacts, all at America's Best.
You have to have a dream, a goal. You have to be willing to work for it.
We are not going to stop chasing a dream with cancer.
You look up not giving up in the dictionary, a picture of my wife would be there.
You're one of the strong ones, okay? Just remember that.
You're stronger.
My dad would be so thankful for all of the lives that have been saved.
Can't nobody do it like I do it. Can't nobody do it like I do it.
Kraft mac and cheese.
Get 'em up, get 'em up.
The one and only.
I'm Anya's indecision, and home projects were my favorite way to get her all twisted up. But Thumbtack changed that. Even I'm no match for their plans and guides.
Indecision doesn't live here. You do. Take care of your home with Thumbtack.
Big day, everybody. That's the spirit. We're having lots of fun. What's going on? Oh, the Homes.com network just hit 100 million visitors. So we're throwing a party now that we're the go-to site for home shoppers.
You don't think this is a little over the top?
Over the top? It's 100 million, Marcy. That's a pretty big deal.
Yeah, we get that every month.
Excuse me?
What are you going to do? Throw a party every month?
Party every month, everybody! I don't know how to change the song on this. Homes.com, the place to find a place.
Keep that shower fresh feeling all day with Dove antiperspirant.